Hey everyone, Lone Wolf Jet here, and let me check and see. Okay, there's nothing in there. So, I'm gonna go ahead and start up Chapter 25 EX. So, the first part of it. Gonna do as much as I can of it, and we'll go from there. It's fine. Let's see. Whatever. Well, you really don't want to ask me that question, Rita. But yeah, for now, I'm gonna go ahead and do Chapter 25 EX. Alright. Nice animation on it. Okay, from what I gather, that looks... Oh god, that looks familiar. Oh man. This... Oh boy. Man. Alright. Let's do as much as we can of it. Looks like there's 8 sections. I might be able to do 4, so... Let's go. A team of 3 or fewer members. Go ahead and use Bianca. Well, Bianca's automatic. It's trial. Go ahead and go with Argentite Artemis. What's okay. Triple S. Oh man, that's like hella weak. Anyway, let's get a good supporting. Let's get let's get her in there. Wait, do I have her? Yeah, I have Shijing all maxed up, so go ahead and put it in. Okay. Nice. All right. It birthed all creation. This much you should understand. I am the origin of all things, and I am the destroyer of all things. 6 a.m. Girl finished her warm-up and turned off her personal fitness training device. The device that had been created nearly half a century prior, originally designed for astronauts, including an air prison pressurization system that could animate a low-gravity environment. Some years later, a Valkyrie HQ pulled this aging but unusually durable device out of storage and began to use it in morning exercises. The Valkyrie's name was Ragna Lodbrok. Yes, good old Ragna. She's one of the reasons the girl chose to become a Valkyrie. Give me a second, folks. Gonna do something real quick here. I'm gonna plug in my charger here, because this might take a while. I don't want to be running low on battery power. Oops. All right. Okay. Hold on. Okay, it's on fast charging. Good. Let's look at the history here. 21,358 meters. Feeling good today. Well, I'm at it. Might as well do some tactical training. Okay. Okay, this was like... typical, because I know how to use her. She's one of my main Abyss Falks. Alright. Sorry if you see the screen float back and forth on me. Simulation. Oh, I remember seeing this. Title train complete. The girl entered the simulated environment presented by Sumeru and capped off her morning exercise with some meditation. And today, her meditation was accompanied by Divine Key, Abyss Flower. And I have it. This powerful weapon, reserved for the strongest of Valkyries, had been given to the girl 3 years earlier by the Overseer himself. She had broken multiple records and became the youngest Valkyrie in history to reach A rank and S rank. Gradually, she became the most trusted second-in-command on the battlefield. Yet, in her heart, the girl had a lingering sense of dissatisfaction. The uneasiness wasn't about the lifestyle she lived. She understood well that from the moment she joined the Valkyries, she would live a certain kind of life. She would carry the fate of the masses on her shoulders and fight tirelessly for all that is good. She would spill her blood without hesitation. The girl accepted all of this. You could even say she learned to thrive in dangerous situations. But the older she got, the more she had to face an uncomfortable realization. No matter what value you hold, sometimes you have to make trade-offs. That is to say, when it comes to bearing responsibility, fulfilling one's duty, sometimes one must take priority over the other. And for the girl in particular, it seemed that everything that she had experienced had been planned out by the Overseer. From her journey to the Sea of Quanta to her encounter with the pioneers, all of it was ordered by the Overseer. Like Krishna guiding Arjuna in the Mahabharata, he seemingly molded her life with his own hands. Oddly enough, I'm doing this at the same time I'm doing Lost Belt 4 in FGO when they mention Arjuna. By the way, I happen to have both his Archer and his Berserker form, Arjuna Altar. The girl was not sure that she could accept such a life, even though Arjuna was a hero whose name was known by all, and despite the fact that until now, she had never felt dissatisfied with her life. Bianca, I've returned. A familiar yet unexpected voice shattered the silence of her meditation. Good morning, Overseer. You don't seem at all surprised. Not surprised that I came back, and not surprised that I called you by your old name. Why would I surprise you about something so trivial? Let's get down to business. Do you have a new mission for me? Reen Amber must have given you a report on recent events, even though technically you are a missing person. Your no-nonsense attitude reminds me of the Bianca who had not yet become Durandal. Always so serious. I really can't picture you as a little girl. I've always been this way, whether I'm quiet or talkative, whether I show emotion or not. How is that relevant to anything? In theory, you're right, but the impressions you make on people also matter. You might want to approach this next mission with a different attitude. Because you finally have a chance to live up to the name Durandal. Get ready. In half an hour, you will assist me with an experiment which will attempt to link the bubble universe to the imaginary tree. The overseer laughed and then abruptly turned and briskly walked away. This was typical for this free spirit Otto. He was in the habit of casually dropping big news like that. The girl had believed that completing the mission she undertook at age 12 might take her whole life. After all, returning the bubble universe in the Sea of Quanta to the imaginary tree was no easy task. The world was born from the imaginary tree, flourished, withered, and finally disappeared back into the Sea of Quanta. This is a law of nature. But 3 years ago, things began to change. The overseer announced the findings of his research on the imaginary tree to the girl and her adjutant. From the overseer's perspective, the girl's personal goals could all be subsumed into his master plan. Then, 2 years ago, on an autumn day not too different than today, the girl assisted the overseer in seizing the second divine key. During that experiment, they encountered a project, Valuka, enforcer from the previous era. Ever since, the overseer had been making rapid progress with his master plan, but even so, the girl never imagined that things would happen this quickly. She remembered their trip to the Sea of Quanta as if it was yesterday. Shakespeare, Miguel. Don't want to take any messages from someone I don't know on Instagram. Shakespeare, Miguel, Jimmy, and so many other interesting people. She wondered how their lives were in the other world. Dr. Schrodinger and Shigeru Akira. Are they still wandering somewhere in the Sea of Quanta? And what about that mysterious blade called Durandal? The overseer creating a link between the bubble universe and the imaginary tree was her only hope to save them all. And she might even be able to discover a new way for humanity to escape Honkai. For the past few years, the girl had tucked thoughts of this lifelong dream into a corner of her mind. She never once thought the chance to fulfill her destiny would come this soon, and this suddenly. The overseer was right. She should have a different attitude when facing this extremely important job. Okay. Are we doing the next chapter? The next part of this chapter? When the girl entered the S-Rank Valkyrie Command Center, a familiar figure had already arrived. Hello, Rita. Ah, Durandal. I take you've already met with the Overseer. Yeah, this news was a surprise to me. The Overseer disappeared one day, came back just as suddenly, and now he's ready to run the experiment. The whole thing seems hard to believe. But it's the Overseer. Hasn't he always acted this way? He has always viewed the world as a chessboard. All the people and things that are under his control are like the pieces. For someone with things like that, results are the only things that matter. After all, any value placed on the process, he gave up many, many years ago. Rita, why does the way you're talking now remind me of the way Shakespeare and Schrodinger talked? Like, it has some deeper philosophical meaning. Huh. You really think so? Well, I'm sorry, Durandal. Maybe I'm just nervous about this mission. Rita, you really? Isn't it normal to be nervous in this situation? After all, this involves countless real human lives in another dimension. If I were to make an analogy, in many ways, A small village deep in the mountains cannot be compared to a bustling city. Yet the village also has its own past, present, and future. Now suddenly we have a chance to alter the fate of everyone there. Who wouldn't be nervous? Oh, is that the reason you're suddenly so talkative, Durandal? Durandal recalled the way she was several years ago. Back when she was irritable, rather short in stature, and extremely talkative. That girl seemed to be a completely different person than the Durandal of today. Rita, What is it, Durandal? It's nothing. Not worth talking about it. The girl started to speak, then hesitated. If it had been several years earlier, she would have openly talked to Rita about how her personality had changed. But that girl was long gone. Bianca, if this mission goes smoothly, then afterwards, let's take a half day off and go for a drive. What do you think? Well, if it doesn't affect our work, then I guess we could. As for where we should go, how about Naples? It's not far from the floating isles. Going for a drive. Naples. The girl suddenly remembered that on their adventure 5 years earlier. Ria suggested something similar. The next time we get a chance, we should go to Naples at night and have some fun. Yeah. Sure. If the Overseer's experiment can really help those people in the bubble universe, then we can drive to Mount Vesuvius together. Mount Vesuvius? The girl smiled and agreed, and it was an unusual suggestion for an S-rank Valkyrie to make. Half an hour later, Shixall Floating Isles. Special purpose lab for the second divine key, Cosmic Juggernaut. Excellent. Everyone was here on time. Durandal, Rita, Nagamitsu, Amber, I appreciate you all looking after HQ in my absence. No problem at all, Overseer. We were just doing what we should. That's right. Also, Mr. Otto, you can continue speaking for a while. The space-time manipulator system needs 5 more minutes to warm up. Haha. Looks like the only one who's not on time is the machine. Well then, I'll use this time to familiarize everyone with the process involved in this experiment. Everyone should have a solid understanding. At first glance, the 4-dimensional space-time we inhabit seems flat and empty. Yet in higher dimensional realms, it contains many unimaginably complex structures. People of the previous era had 2 descriptive names for these structures: the Sea of Quanta and the Imaginary Tree. In the Sea of Quanta, all beings and things decay as time progresses, until everything is disintegrated into chaos. The world of the Imaginary Tree does not share this fate, but there, Honkai events are a frequent occurrence. In essence, that is because the concept of time in each realm is fundamentally different. But this isn't what we'll be focusing on today. Today's experiment will attempt to link a bubble universe within the Sea of Quanta back to the Imaginary Tree, saving it from the extinction to which it is ultimately destined. Now that we've done extensive research on the second divine key and obtained technical assistance from World Serpent, Shixall must make use of this technology. Wait, you got technical shit from World Serpent? If we do so, in the not-too-distant future, you'll be able to change the fate of the space-time manipulation system. Is ready, Mr. Otto. The experiment can begin anytime. Well, let's all have to be brief in my explanation. To make a long story short, the subject of our experiment will be a special bubble universe contained within Durandal's body. We will depart from the Sea of Quanta, seek a passage leading to imaginary space, and then try to artificially link it to the Imaginary Tree. So, Durandal, we'll need to enter the dimensional portal generated by the psychic divine key or yourself. Okay. This time you'll be equipped with an upgraded Genius Space-Time Exploration Unit. Nagamitsu will use it to maintain communications with you while you're in complex space-time environments. Got it. Due to the great significance of this experiment, Reed and Amber, you will stay here to manage and coordinate operations, and I'll accompany Durandal to the portal. Huh? I guess this is the first time we'll be officially working side by side. I'll need your assistance, Bianca, Durandal, Atagena. Okay. Can't really read that too well, so sorry. So this is what it feels like in the Sea of Quanta. Not so different than being weightless. Please try to stay close to me, Overseer. According to Nagamitsu, objects within the Sea of Quanta, far from a bubble universe, are at risk of decaying into nothingness. But because Mr. Orwell's body is made out of solium, the risk is very low. But if we lose connection with the outside world, we do have a problem after all. After all, I already transplanted my connection into this body, consciousness into this body. Huh? Isn't that? Nothing we can do about that, even though I spent 2 years improving the Genius Plus. It doesn't support real-time consciousness projection. There's just not enough bandwidth. No problem. I won't hold you back in battle. You must be joking, Overseer. You would beat me in one-on-one fight. I thought I could defeat you in a fair fight. In fact, there will be no contest. As of this moment, you are Auto-Apocalypse's most reliable partner in this adventure. Seems that made you uncomfortable. Well then, enough chit-chat. It's time to take the first step of our journey. Let's go. Are we doing like this whole thing from previous chapters again? Yup. Okay. This reminded me a lot of let me go ahead and switch to Rita real quick here. Okay. What the? Theater domination? What are we doing in the theater domination? This place is moving between dimensions. One's consciousness is sometimes affected by dreamlike interference. For the girl, it came in the form of images of gallows, remains of Honkai beasts, and unfamiliar purple flowers. These are certainly not images from her own memories. They might have been residual data in the Sea of Quanta, or maybe. Looks like we were already close to our destination. This is the Theater of Domination, a space created by the 10th Heresher not long ago. Although the 10th Heresher is gone, I'm thinking of a way to preserve part of what's here. Will that help us establish connection with the imaginary tree? Exactly. How much do you know about the 10th Heresher, the Heresher of Dominance? I read the research materials provided by Anti-Entropy and World Serpent. That Heresher is an aggregation of multiple consciousnesses. It can construct unique dimensions in the gaps within space-time. Unlike the Heresher of Domination of the Heresher of Dominance of the previous era. I mean, Heresher of Legion. You know enough then. After all, we won't encounter the Heresher of Dominance, but merely what it left behind. In order to control its minions from this place, the Heresher made use of the imaginary tree's power to create a link between the two universes. And this resulted in, even though the 10th Heresher no longer exists, and the Theater of Domination is about to sink into the Sea of Quanta, for the moment it still retains its connection with the imaginary tree. So we quickly assembled everyone to begin the experiment. Yes, time waits for no man. Although it will sink into the Sea of Quanta, the process isn't instantaneous. But before we attempt to intervene in the Honkai persona, we need to have a firm grasp of the technology and resources at our disposal. I understand, but Overseer, does a Honkai persona really exist? I always thought it was just hypothetical. Before the century, it was indeed just hypothetical. But during the second eruption in the year 2000, I made contact with a consciousness so enormous that defied common sense. Oh yeah, the thing that stabbed him. This consciousness will confuse humans by bombarding them with excessive amounts of information. It could take the entirety of human knowledge and force it into your brains in an instant. Unless they took preventive measures, humans cannot communicate with it as equals, then hold on. If this is really the Honkai persona, that means it's basically invincible. Yes, if it really had that kind of power, it could exist civilizations. It could extinguish civilization whenever it wanted. Trying to revive humanity would be pointless. So its hatred for humanity is not so deep, or it's not as invincible as it seems. But I disagree. No matter what, humanity must use everything at its disposal to have a chance at victory in this uneven struggle. And the experiment we will take today is a rare opportunity. Absolutely. Now, in describing the relationship between the two worlds, we can call our own world base reality. The Honkai persona controls a link between base reality and the imaginary tree, affecting the natural cycle of Honkai energy. Humanity is suffering as a result. So, for the upcoming experiment, if everything goes well, we might be able to rid ourselves of our shackles and establish our own connection with the imaginary tree. If successful, humanity can turn the tide against Honkai without a fight. But he said, if everything goes well. That's true. Cutting-edge experiments are rarely successful, and the future is even more unpredictable. But if we get any positive results from this adventure, at least you'll be able to face Kevin with confidence. Are you talking about the ultimate purpose of World Serpent? Project Stigma? Of course. The frightening thing about Project Stigma is that it could redefine the rules by which the world operates. If the other side can create their utopia, and we cannot, then sooner or later, the world will become as they envision. Since more of us wants the grim future imposed by the previous era, we must find a way to create our own utopia. That is to say, if I have a bottle within me, and in today's experiment, we can surely link it to the imaginary tree. Then in the future, will the resources needed to refuse Project Stigma? Yes. But as you know, among all the schemes for opposing Honkai, there are none that are guaranteed to succeed. Hey, Mr. Otto. Isn't today the day that Dorno will gloriously complete her mission? What's with the negativity? You should learn how to quit while you're ahead. But what he's saying is true, and the truth shouldn't be avoided. But we are not yet at the point where we have to make a choice. Today, there's no need for you to, thanks to your concern, Nagamitsu. But failure is not an option missions given to S-rank Valkyries. And I'm used to living dangerously. Good. That's the spirit. Durandal, rightfully known as the most powerful Valkyrie in Schicksal, your devotion to the cause hasn't wavered one bit. Overseer, please stop with flattery. It seems you're a bit overexcited today. I can go on and on. Nagamitsu, please explain in detail the steps involved in the experiment. Your overseer will keep his mouth shut now. I might need to turn it off. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, I'm actually gonna stop this right now. So and continue it on future. So let's go ahead and give up. Yeah. Alright, so yeah, that was number 4. Alright, so let's go ahead and claim the rewards here. So yeah, that'll be The next video will be probably the rest of this. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then, of course, on the 15th, they'll unlock the second area. And that seems to be it. So until next time, this is Lil J saying thank you all for watching. Take care of yourselves.